Oh, what's going on? This is Don from Supr-Tech, and today we are going to be building the Skitzo Nova. Now, I've been sitting on this frame for about a month, so I'm really anxious to build it. So let's get right into this. We're going to be running Skitzo Revolt Osd. We're going to be running Skitzo 32, Bolt 32, the new Jammy Jam. This is the version before they started removing the 4 capacitors at the top right here. Alright, so yep, hopefully I won't get any solder balls. I'm usually pretty good on, taping it up and, being meticulous, but hopefully, I don't make any mistakes. So, alright, so we're going to be running XM Plus for our Tyrannus. For our FPV, we're going to be running the Runcam Swift. We're going to be running the Foxeer TM25 Switcher VTX. These things have been pretty good to me. I took the liberty of soldering a pigtail on this one because I actually broke it in a crash, but thanks to some help of my boy Rambozo, I was able to repair that and get it back working right. So we're going to be throwing that in there. Right, and for motors, we are going to be using the F43s, the T-motor F43s, and as you see, I went ahead and took the liberty of covering up the motor wires, trying to protect them. Now, if you've seen the last video I did, I used some heat shrink and some gold paint marker to color the wire to give it a little bit more customization, so to make it a little bit more personal. But this time I wanted to use things that were a little bit more quicker and easier for anybody to get their hands on, and a little less messy, just in case you don't like to use the paint marker. This is something that's a little bit easier, and it's conventional, so you can find the stuff and you can just anywhere and you can just put it on and hopefully it'll work. So this is kind of a test. I'm hoping this is good, but I'll show you what I'm using for this as we start the build. I actually have one motor here with nothing on it so that I can show you. So let's get right into that. And now I'm going to show you how I went ahead and got the motor protected like so. So I had a guy ask me online when I posted one of my small pics, and he asked me if these were forever tubes. My answer to that is no, they are not forever tubes, because forever tubes are not something that's super conventional that you can just run out and grab real quick, unless you live by a Home Depot or somewhere who just happens to have them. But I like to, like I said, use things that you just have on hand and you can get real quick, kind of like stuff you don't even really think about you can use. So I'll give you a second to think about what it is. Okay, it is a coffee stirrer. So this time I'm using coffee stirrers. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and you want to size up your motors onto your frame, and eventually you'll get something like this, where you need it to be. But once you do that, you want to cut the stirrer according to that size, so you'll end up with pieces like this. So once you get these pieces, okay, you should take an X-Acto knife like so. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this, but just go into the middle and then just slightly cut it down the middle. Lightly, don't go too forceful, so that you can open up the stirrer and get it nice and flat for a second, because what's going to happen is it's going to fold back over. Not really fold, but it's going to round back out eventually. So just give it a little click on the other side until you see it opened all the way up, kind of like like if you crack open the stem of a leaf. So you go ahead and get that open, all 3 of them, just make sure those are opened up. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put them around each wire. Alright, the best way you can. Just take your time doing it. When you do it, just kind of like round it back out over the wire, like so. Here's where the fun stuff happens, alright? Because now we're going to take our heat shrink, okay? And you should be able, sorry, tongue-tied. You should be able to just slide the heat shrink right over it. If you can't, just press it down a little bit, and then the heat shrink should just slide right over it like that. So now we're gonna put it to the base of the wire. This heat shrink on the base of the wire, and the way you do that is you get yourself some needle nose pliers, put that in there like that, and you just slightly open it. Don't do it too much because you'll bust it open. Now you're gonna take that and you're gonna hit it with your hot air gun, your blow dryer or your lighter, whatever you want to use. You know, some people like to use a lighter. It's just faster and on hand, but it burns the heat shrink and it makes it like a black kind of color. So that kind of takes the beauty out of what we're creating here. So we're not gonna use that. We're gonna go ahead and use a blow dryer because I like to bother my wife. So once you're done, you should have something like this. You know, you got all your motor wires protected and purple, and these are going to go up to the arms just enough to give me enough slack so I can solder my wires onto my ESC without it, you know, being too tight, you know, just in case anything happens. You don't want to pull a pad or anything. So always give it enough slack so you're able to solder and able to repair as well. That's very important, so don't forget that. All right, so now we're gonna get those mounted onto the frame and move on from there. So now that we got everything mounted down on the frame, you're gonna have something going on like this. Got all your wires protected, you got your extra slack on the ESC there. One thing I really like about the Bolt 32 and the Revolt Osd, it all just plugs right in, so you should be able to plug that right into the ESC, and from there you're gonna get power for your camera. Sorry, I had to switch to the TBS. We were running the Runcam Swift last time. I don't know where I put it. Here it goes, but I couldn't get any video, so I just swapped it out for the 00 and worked fine. So we're gonna run with that. But like I was saying, we're gonna get power to the receiver, the XM Plus. We're gonna get power to camera and VTX from the Bolt 32 through the flight controller. So I want to also tell you guys, for this one, I don't have the copper sheeting that goes over the FETs. So I went ahead and did some research, and I found that aluminum foil and copper both they repel EMF. However, neither one of them absorb it. So like I said, I didn't have the copper laying around, so I figured I'd just use some aluminum foil, and I put some aluminum foil around a piece of cardboard, like from a business card, and then I went ahead and taped that around with some electrical tape, and I made it so that I can stick it down onto the FETs like so, and hopefully knock out some of that EMF. But hold on one second, before you guys put that down, I would make some cuts on the side. So, yep, I got that down, and let's hope we don't get any EMF going on here. So, once we are done, we are going to have this going on. So, this is the frame, everything assembled, minus the antenna on, and the forever tubes on. But yeah, man, it's looking pretty sick. I'm really digging the purple wiring with the purple vinyl. If you can see it, looks pretty cool. You can see it in the light. Try to make it change for you a little bit. That's probably the best it's gonna get. But yeah, I think it looks pretty sick. Like I said, try to do something with the quad to make it a little bit more customizable. And yeah, so we got the purple going on. Now we are going to mount up the antennas and, you know, the VTX antenna and battery straps. Throw the battery straps on that bad boy. And then we'll be ready to go rip. Would like to take a moment to say thank you for everybody who took their time to watch this video. If you feel like this has been helpful for you, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Every like and subscribe I get, it's a notification to push me to do more content. Let's get this thing outside and go rip.